loves, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Faith, and today guys, I'll be checking out Tucker Carlson came on my show, and this happened by Russel brand. And you guys, I'm super excited as always. If you're here to subscribe to this channel, please consider subscribing, give this video a massive thumbs up, comment, share, and all that good stuff. And without much ado, let's see what this video is all about.
Tucker Carlson gave us his first world-exclusive interview since leaving Fox. Let's reflect on some of the things it revealed, some of the pushback, and one thing he didn't say. Hello there, you 6.5 million awakening wonders. Thanks for joining us on this voyage to truth and freedom, a voyage we undertake together, making new alliances, new friendships, recognizing that the establishment now is quaking, waning, falling apart, and the new systems are being born. Turn on the notification bell and subscribe right now. We need you on this voyage so that you watch our daily content, lest the algorithm directs you elsewhere. We were privileged to have Tucker Carlson come here for his first interview since leaving Fox News. We talked about January the 6th, with Tucker saying that FBI agents were likely in the crowd. That's something that those FBI whistleblowers said when they came on our show before. We talked too about the Ukraine war and Tucker's belief that it is primarily motivated by the economic requirements of the military-industrial complex. We talked about the culture war. We talked about the reasons that he left Fox. It was amazing to have a person of his stature, magnitude, conviviality, congeniality, kindness, and indeed, let's face it, a controversial figure like him here on our premises as part of our media organization. It shows me that media has changed now. That Tucker Carlson chose our organization as the place to make these revelations is an indication that the mainstream is kind of over. Let me know if you agree with that in the comments. In fact, partly what it seems to me that our entire cultural conflict is defined by now is establishment authority trying to assert itself in conditions that are no longer appropriate for it. Put simply, technology and communications has changed the world. This enables decentralized media and indeed political models to thrive. The establishment cannot afford or allow that. When I say the establishment, I mean anything from CNN to Fox to the FBI to the CIA to MI5 to the WHO. These are by their nature centralized authoritarian structures that require these new models to be restrained. Firstly, in a way, this is a victory for independent media. As Glenn Greenwald pointed out in his tweet, Russel Brand's live midday interview with Tucker Carlson on Rumble was watched by almost 1 million people within the first few hours. We're now nearly at 3 million. Numbers that CNN can't dream of matching ever, let alone in Friday daytime in late July. I suppose that shows you that media has changed now. The type of conversations that you want to listen to, the type of conversations that you want to participate in have altered, and the mainstream can't keep up with that. Look at the trouble they have with Donald Trump. CNN want to give him a town hall in order to invite viewers, then they have a meltdown about the response to it, whether it's the right thing to do. A popular figure like RFK emerges out of the Democrat establishment whilst attacking it, which I believe is what's necessary. They can't house him or frame him. People like that are seeking out independent media because the establishment is fundamentally conservative. I don't mean conservative politically, I mean wants to keep things the same. Preservative. Let's have a look at our conversation with Tucker Carlson. Let's share some personal reflections. Like, for example, he was polite and kind to every single person here on the premises. He was an absolute joy to be around. There was a lot of tweets, there was a lot of coverage, most of it extremely positive. Predictably, some people pushed back. But let's have a look at the conversation in a little more depth together. Right now that we're deeply embedded in Rumble, why the hell did you leave Fox? Tell us the truth. What are you not permitted to say? Tell us. So do you think they sacked you because of Jan 6? Do you think they sacked you because you're too anti-establishment, too anti-war? Tell us.
I honestly don't know. I will say, my views changed dramatically over the course of 20 years. As I've said many times, I was a kind of half-hearted booster of the war in Iraq, which is hard to believe. But, that was in 2003. And so my views for the last 20 years have been, and I realized and I repented of that, and I feel sick even thinking about it now. But
even if you're one of the people, and let me know in the comments if you are, that believes that Tucker Carlson is a nefarious influence in the media, do you not think that that's good? That he says, I was wrong in my reporting on the Iraq War, and I feel guilty and ashamed. Have you seen anybody else like Tony Blair or George W. Bush or any of the people that were reporting at that time? Remember, they were Republican politicians in the United States, Labour in our country, so left wing in our country, the UK. Have you seen anyone else offer up a mea culpa like that? How do people fit that into their framework of condemnation when people are like, oh, he's just doing that in order to what? How do you make sense of that?
But my views have remained pretty much the same for the last 20 years. They've evolved, as things have changed. But in general, I've been skeptical of the storylines and all kinds of different things. And I certainly was for the 14 years I was at Fox. And they were always, they didn't agree with me, of course, I don't think. But they were always very nice to me, and they always let me say what I wanted. Not one time did they tell me not to say anything. So I was always grateful to Fox, and I am, in retrospect, grateful to Fox for that. So that never changed up until the moment they called me and said, we're taking the show off the air. And so I can only speculate. I know, but I do think as a general matter, not even about me, the war in Ukraine is a red line for a lot of people in business and politics. And you see it in our politics in the U.S., where the leaders of the Republican Party in the Congress, who really are repulsive, in my view, are now supporting sending cluster bombs to Ukraine. Ukraine is losing the war, obviously. The United States could, and Ukrainians are dying in huge numbers, and the country's being destroyed. And so the U.S. could force a peace like tonight. They could. Uniquely, they have that power. And they won't. And they're continuing to allow Ukrainians to be killed and the country to be devastated. So I don't know their motive. I can only guess. But I know that if you criticize that, they really are intent on making you be quiet.
One thing that Fox did censor, or at least didn't broadcast, was Tucker's interview with the chief of the Capitol Police. Why was that? Is that a significant interview? Do you think we'll ever see it? Let me know in the comments. One way that we can personally navigate censorship, spying, surveillance, data capture is through the intelligent use of a VPN. Here is one that you might like to consider. Thank you, other me. Going online without ExpressVPN is like ignoring the safety demonstration on a flight. Most of the time you'll be fine, but what if one day, who coming down now? The yellow mask. Do I put my own on first? Or do I do this little old lady? I don't even know she. It's better be safe than sorry in these turbulent times, like on an aeroplane, which is why you need a VPN. That's how I do it. Remember, when you log on to an unencrypted network in a cafe, a hotel, or an airport, for example, any hacker worth their salt on the same network can access your personal data. And your data is so valuable that hackers, they can make up to $1,000 per person selling that on the dark web. It doesn't even take much technical knowledge to hack someone these days, just some cheap hardware. For example, I just hacked my dad in the nuts using that then. And that's why I use ExpressVPN. It creates a secure, encrypted tunnel between your device and the internet so hackers can't get in there. In fact, it's so super secure that it would take a hacker with a supercomputer over 1 billion years to get past ExpressVPN's encryption. It's easy to use. Just fire up the app and click one button to get protected. And it works on all your devices, phones, laptops, and tablets. So if, like me, you want peace of mind every time you're on the internet, secure your online data today by visiting expressvpn.com/brand. That's expressvpn.com/brand. And you can get an extra 3 months for free. Let's go back to that other version of me who's less like a Jedi archbishop and see what he wants. January 6th clearly is one of the issues that drove Tucker out of Fox. What was it? Let me know what you think happened on that day that means this issue remains so contentious. Was it that there were government agents in the crowd? Do you think it was a false flag issue? That's not what Tucker says, obviously. Do you think it's been exploited to introduce new laws and to force forward surveillance and more ability to control and censor? Why was this day so significant in recent American political history?
They immediately recoiled when you asked any questions about January 6th. And that was a tip off to me. I mean, I had no thought in my head as I watched this happen on television and in the subsequent weeks that U.S. law enforcement or military agencies had anything to do with it. That never crossed my mind. I never thought it was a false flag or anything like that. I'm not a conspiracist by temperament. I never thought that. And then I interviewed the chief of the Capitol Police, Stephen Sund, in an interview that was never aired on Fox, by the way. I was fired before it could air. I'm going to interview him again. But Stephen Sund was the totally non-political worked for Nancy Pelosi. I mean, this was not some right-wing activist. He was the chief of the Capitol Police on January 6th. And he said, oh, yeah. That crowd was filled with federal agents. What? Yes. Well, he would know, of course, because he was in charge of security at the site.
One moment that I found fascinating, let me know in the comments if you agree, was Tucker's assertion that Trump is the most significant political force to emerge in America in the last 100 years. He compares him, of course, to that other great American populist, Teddy Roosevelt. What do you think Tucker meant about Trump being the most significant force? Do you think he means that Trump was a wrecking ball to the establishment, the swamp drainer? Do you think that Trump was the emergence of a different type of politics, a new populism? Do you think that Trump is the symptom of a dying establishment? Do you think that Trump is authentic when he says he's going to change things for small businesses, ordinary Americans, that he's going to make America great again? What do you think is the significance of Donald Trump? Plainly, well, literally, Tucker says he loves him.
It seems you have occupied varying positions on Trump at various times. Where are you on Donald Trump now? And particularly perhaps how that relates to the emergence of radical anti-establishment figures within the Democrat Party, notably RFK.
Where am I on Trump now? Well, I love Trump. Personally. I mean, I made a huge mistake last November in getting involved in American politics, something I've never done before. And making calls, this guy's going to win. I think this is going to happen in this state. Meet your new governor, New York, stuff like that. And I was wrong on almost every call. I'm not a very astute political analyst. I'm not interested in politics. I never have been interested in politics. I'm interested in ideas. I'm interested in people. And so there's a primary going on in the United States between Trump and a bunch of other people, primarily Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, but others, Vivek Ramaswamy, for example. And I haven't said word one about it. Don't plan to. I think looking back on this 10 years from now, assuming we're still around, I think we're going to see Trump's emergence as the most significant thing to happen in American politics in 100 years, because he reoriented the Republican Party against the wishes of Republican leaders. But when I think about Trump right now, so it's July of 2023, I'm struck by his foreign policy views. Trump is the only person with stature in the Republican Party, really, who's saying, wait a second, why are we supporting an endless war in Ukraine? And that, leaving aside whether Trump's going to get the nomination or get elected president or would be a good president, I can't even assess that. All I can say at this point is I'm so grateful that he has that position. He's right. And everyone in Washington's wrong. Everyone. And Trump is right on that question. And it's a big question. That war is reshaping the world. It's reshaping the economy of the world. It's reshaping populations. I was just in Romania last week, which is, of course, shares a border with Ukraine. The refugees in that region, the number of people killed in that war, Europe will never be the same because of this war. And it really matters.
We still don't know what Tucker Carlson will do as a broadcaster, but it seems increasingly likely it will be as an independent media journalist. For now, at least, he is operating within Twitter. Is that because his Fox contract prohibits other types of relationships? Let me know what you think in the comments. What does he think about Elon Musk? And what is the nature of his financial relationship with perhaps the most powerful new media operator in the game, Elon Musk?
We were all amongst us thinking, where will Tucker go? Is it going to be Tucker? Will he be joining us on Rumble? Will you set up your own thing? What was it about your conversations with Elon Musk that led you to work there on Twitter?
Well, I don't work for Elon. He's paid me zero money. I don't think I ever want to work for anyone again. I've done that. I'd like to make money. I think that's fair. I've made zero money since I left, and that's fine. But at some point I'd like to, but I'm not working for Elon Musk. He hasn't offered to hire me, and if he did, I wouldn't accept. But what he's done is offered me what he's offered every other user of Twitter, which is a chance to broadcast your views without a gatekeeper there. But I do think, I think the technology at Twitter is, my expectation, is evolving. And I think, the subscription model, might work or it might not. I don't know, but I think it might. And and I plan to stay there. But what social media offer in the short term, at least for me, is an audience, but also a reason. This is personal, but a reason to write. I can't think clearly without writing. I started in this business as a magazine writer and a book writer, newspaper writer, and I need to write things out. I'm very dyslexic, and I can't. I have trouble processing information in certain ways, and unless I'm forced to write a script, I can't really decide what I think about something. And so the daily or regular discipline of writing a script forces me, and in some cases it really is forced. I don't want to do it. I'd much rather go fishing or bird hunting. I would. But if I have to, I will. And there's something wonderful in that. Writing a script, as forces you to think through everything about the issue, to have a much deeper understanding of it. At least for me, that's true.
Well, let me know, what questions do you think I should have asked Tucker Carlson? What would you have liked to have seen more of? Are you excited about the way that independent media is shaping up? Do you share my belief that independent media and independent politics are now forever enmeshed? In a sense, it's one movement, because if you're anti-surveillance, anti-censorship, anti-globalism, anti-authoritarianism, anti-closing down debate and closing down conversation, anti-bad faith conflagration causing reporting, then necessarily you're going to have to convey that through media, and in order to change it, you're going to have to become politicized. That's why I regard what we're doing now more as a movement than as a broadcast channel in the conventional sense. I know we have an obligation to you, and I hope you feel you have an obligation to us, to continue to watch us, to share our content, to guide us, to let us know when we've made mistakes, to let us know when we're guilty of the errors that the mainstream makes, removing nuance, personal biases, deliberate manipulation. Stay in contact with us. Hit us up in the comments. Give us a thumbs up. Share this video around. If you enjoyed this video, have a look at this one or this one. Turn on the notification bell and subscribe. It's so important that we maintain your support. But more important than any of that is that you please, if you can, stay free.
Wow, you guys, that was such a beautiful one from Tucker Carlson. And I love the fact that he owned up to his wrongs and openly apologized. And like he said, that his views has evolved as the year goes by. This is such a beautiful one. And I love the way that he maturely exposed the political agendas. Let me know what you guys think about this whole Tucker Carlson view in the comment section. What are your views? I really enjoyed this interview because he was so straightforward. I love the fact that he answered every question so genuinely, and this was such a beautiful interview, and I totally had fun reacting to him. If you guys enjoyed watching, give this video a massive thumbs up, comment, share, and all that good stuff. And this is me officially signing out. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.